Hi, Groomer Confessions here from Crazy Poodle Lady. First, I want to tell you my grooming shop was a little different than what a lot of groomers are dealing with. I was the only person in my shop most of the time. I did have some people that I would train from time to time. I did have some helpers from time to time, but I didn't work in a shop with several groomers or bathers. I didn't have my cat either. Say hi, Moose. Anyway, I worked in my own shop for the most part by myself. So everything was done by me. I didn't have anybody to brush dogs out, bathe them, dry them, any of that stuff. So some of the things that I did, I might do differently than people do today. A lot of my equipment was much, much different than it is today as well. But here's some of my experiences. 3 things I wish I'd have known when I first started. First one being charge what you're worth. I would give people the discount the minute they said, oh my, that's kind of expensive. When I first started, I would groom anything. I started grooming poodles for $15 to $20 a piece, even with fancy trims. I know now they're running $50 to $60. Kind of boggles my mind because, back then I couldn't have gotten 25 to 30 consistently for anything like that. Like I said, I did Great Pyrenees. Most I ever got for a dog was $75, and that was a dog that took me all day long. But charge what you're worth. Go by your time, go by your effort. If you have a dog that makes you just cringe every time you know they're coming in, charge more for that dog. Be honest with their owner. Tell them, look, your dog poops on my table every single time. Your dog bites me every time I get it out of a kennel. Your dog spins around and poops while he's spinning and makes this beautiful splatter pattern all over my grooming room. It takes me 2 hours to clean up after you leave. There are dogs like this. There are clients like this. Some of them will be mad, and that's fine. It's their right. But charge what you're worth. Charge what your time is worth, what the groom is worth. If this Cocker Spaniel takes you 4 times as long as other Cocker Spaniels because they want a poodle lamb trim on it, do the poodle lamb trim. Tell them, look, it just cost me 4 times as much time. I could have done 4 Cockers in the time I did yours. I'm going to have to charge you at least double, if not more than that. Always charge what you're worth. Don't worry about not charging people what you think they should have. And that is, I never actually fired a client. That's how I got rid of dogs I didn't want to do. I charged what it cost, normally whatever the time was worth. If it was a poodle and it took me 3 times as much as a regular poodle and I really hated doing it, I charged them 3 times as much as a regular poodle groom. It was fair. It was consistent. There wasn't price gouging. And if you don't want to do the dog, price it accordingly. And if they stay, they stay, and at least it's worth your time. The other thing I wanted to, I wish somebody had told me is work on your skills, don't work on your speed. You work on your skills, you do everything to the best of your ability. When I first started, a dog that by the time I retired would take me 25 minutes, in the beginning would take me 2.5 hours. Speed comes naturally. Don't worry about your speed. Worry about your quality of work. Get your skills down, get your quality down. Make sure everything is done exactly how it should be done, and eventually the speed will come. Speed is not ever a priority in grooming, in my opinion. That comes naturally. Make sure you do it well, you do it right, you do it safely. The dog is having a good time, you're having a good time. Stress-free as possible, always ending on a good note. Don't ever end a groom where the dog is winning. If you have a dog that's throwing a fit, even if it's just one last little leg trim or one last little brush through the ear, that you conquered without the dog pitching a fit, that's where you end the groom. If you're done with the groom and the dog is still throwing a fit, find one little teeny tiny thing that you can do to make sure that you win by the time the dog is done. Because if you quit on a note where they're throwing a fit, the next time is going to be harder. So make sure that you always work on that. The other thing I would tell a new groomer is work to the point where you can get all standing appointment clients. By the time I quit grooming, and granted, yes, it was 25 years plus, I got to the point shortly, maybe within the first 3 years, that all my clients were standing appointment clients. Anywhere from 8 weeks. 8 weeks was the longest. So 8 weeks or less, standing appointment clients, they got a great discount. I always knew exactly what I was doing, when I was doing it. I knew every 3rd Wednesday of the month, this schnauzer would be in at 9 a.m. and this is the trim it got. I can still see people in the grocery store today and point them out and say, Shih Tzu, every 4 weeks, Wednesday mornings, teddy bear trim. I couldn't tell you the lady's name. I couldn't tell you, usually I could tell you the name of her dog. Couldn't tell you anything else about the person. But I always, could remember that because everything was a standing appointment. Some dogs came in every 7 days or 10 days for a bath. Some dogs came in every 8 weeks. But if it was 8 weeks or less and they let me do standing appointments, not only was my appointment book booked out for the next year pretty much, I didn't have to take new clients. I knew every dog that was coming in, every person that was coming in, every dog knew me, and for the most part, I could plan my day around who was gonna get, I used a cage dryer, so like if a Labrador came in, I would rough them in, bathe them, take the forced air dryer, blow all the excess coat, all the excess water off in the tub where you can rinse it down really easily, put the dog in the cage dryer till they were damp, bring them back out, fluff them the rest of the way, and they were done. In the meantime, while they were in the cage dryer, I could have 3 Shih Tzus roughed in and ready to go, or I could have 2 Poodles roughed in and ready to go, or I could have a Lhasa Apso ready to go that was full coated. But, learn to manage your time really well, and if you have all standing appointment clients, it works great. The other thing I can tell you is by the time I'd been grooming 2 years, I had weeded out all the clients that were over 30 pounds. I'm 5'2" at the time, not now, but at the time, 120 pounds was my normal weight, 115, 120. When you're that size, you really do want to weed out the dogs that are heavier than that, because even at that, it wears your body down. It's like doing yoga 24/7. You're standing on your head if you're doing it right. It really weighs on your back, even with a hydraulic table and a walk-in tub. It weighs on you physically, and I still have injuries today. I groomed my 12 poodles, well, mine and my daughter's 12 poodles yesterday. If I hadn't had my oldest daughter there blow drying dogs for me, I wouldn't have made it, and today I can barely move my back. So be aware of what you're worth. Always work on your skills, let your speed come naturally, and work up so you have a big enough clientele that you can have standing appointment only, and it will make your life so much easier. That's it for today. Oh, thanks for watching.